What is going on? My name is Brady. This is Be All in Sports. We are doing it once again, and right now we are right in the middle of the main card for Usman versus Buckley. Card's been pretty good so far. There's been a couple surprises, not so much on the entire card, just more more or less one fight that kind of surprised me, but that's the way it goes. Omar Sy did not get it done. I had pretty high confidence levels in that one. Alonzo Minifield ended up winning that one on all three judges' scorecards, which was a little bit odd to me, but hey, that's the way it goes. We are right in the middle of the Garbrandt and Barchalos fight right now. Um, so we'll see how that one turns out. They're just starting the third round, but we are going to go ahead and get right into the next card. We have the Khalil Rountree Jr. taking on Jamal Hill in this one. This is going to be a good fight. I can't wait to see how this one turns out. I do have a pretty favorite pick in this one. Um, so we'll get to that one just a little bit later, but we're going to break down this entire card. I'm going to give you my picks and predictions. I do not have any bets in on this card. I'm loading up for UFC 317. I got some picks on that one and I'm ready to go there, but there are some good picks on this fight card that I'm going to get to and I'll go through as we look at it. I'll give you the ones that I'm kind of leaning towards, but I as I said I do not have any picks in right now. So, nonetheless, here it is. Let's get started. This is going to be UFC Fight Night. Jamal Hill taking on Khalil Roundtree Jr. We're going to see how this one goes. Let's do it. First up in the welterweight division, we have Seokhyun Ko taking on Oban Elliott. I'm going Oban Elliott in this fight. I think he is the more skilled fighter. He's definitely got more experience in the UFC. And like I said, I always choose the guy that has the more experience in the UFC. Oban Elliott's coming in with a record of 12-2. Ko is coming in at 11-2, but most of his wins have been on the regional circuit or the lower levels of the professional ranks, which I don't put a lot of stock into some of those wins, no matter what the records say. He did get his win in the UFC, the Contender Series, when he fought against Igor Cavalcante. But look, it comes down to this: he's a little bit older than Oban Elliott. I think Oban Elliott is continuing to prove every time that he comes into the octagon. He's continuing to get better. And I think this is going to be no different. I think he's going to show out. We've got Oban Elliott coming in at 6 foot, 72-inch reach, and Ko is 5'10, has a 71-inch reach. So we're going to see there's not much of a size difference there, but I just think that Elliott's going to be the more skilled fighter. I think he can win anywhere this one goes. Wasn't too overly impressed with Ko. He is a good fighter. He's got skills where if it needs it in the stand-up department, he can keep it there. But I think that Oban Elliott is just going to be better than him in every facet of the game, and Oban Elliott's going to get the win. I would say this is gonna be one of those higher level fights. I think both guys have good skills on the ground, so I think this is gonna go the distance, and I think Oban Elliott's gonna lay it on him. Oban Elliott decision win. Next up, a matchup in the flyweight division. This is going to be a good one. This is going to be Tagir Ulanbekov, 16-2 coming in. He's taking on Azat Maxim. He is 15-1. He had his first loss in his debut against Charles Johnson in the UFC. That's not an easy first matchup to come into the UFC on. He is right now listed as the underdog. He's 5'7", 70-inch reach. Ulanbekov is 5'7", 70-inch reach as well. 33 years old. Maxim is 30 years old. Like I said, that was a tough matchup to come in against Charles Johnson, and you're going to be given another tough matchup here with Tagir. I think that this is going to be one of those that the wrestling may cancel out, and then basing it strictly on a striking basis. Maxim, I think, is going to be the bigger bodied fighter, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him try and hold this on the cage. But I think overall, it's going to be Tagir's game to lose because he's been doing this at a higher level for longer. We know who he trains with Khabib and all of his cohorts over there. So we know that this is going to be he's going to be well trained. If he follows the game plan that they are going to lay out, I think that he's going to have a high level of success in this one. he's good everywhere that Maxim would take this one, and I think that he beats him everywhere that he would take this one. So I'm gonna go Tagir Ulanbekov to win this matchup. I think it's gonna go long. Both of these guys are very tough. So I'm gonna say Tagir's gonna get it done by decision. Next, we have a women's bantamweight matchup between Daria Zeleznikova taking on Melissa Mullins. These two have already currently fought, and so this is going to be the second time they fought. They were both coming over from Aries FC, where they fought there, and Melissa Mullins did get the better of that one. She won by ground and pound in that matchup. That was a while ago, but since then, listen, they've both gotten better. I'm not saying that they haven't improved. I'm just saying that Melissa Mullins, I think, has improved at a higher level. She's been fighting a little bit longer in the UFC. She's had her contract longer, and I look for her to use the experience, the takedown knowledge. I don't think Zelezniakova is going to be able to stop her takedowns once again, so I think she's going to be able to put it on Zelezniakova. I think that Melissa Mullins is going to get this one done. Again, a lot of these I see going to decision. This could be the first finish in this one, and I don't see it changing very much from the first time they fought. So I'm going to go Melissa Mullins. I think she's going to get another KO finish in this one. I wasn't overly impressed with her matchup, her last matchup, but I think she's going to come back strong in this one. I think she's going to get it done by finish. Melissa Mullins is the pick. And speaking of Melissa Mullins, we have up next another women's bantamweight matchup between two ladies that were previously beaten in their last matchups by Melissa Mullins. We have Irina Alekskiva taking on Claudia Segula. Like I said, both of these women were previously just beaten by Melissa Mullins. Segula ended up losing by KO ground and pound. And I believe that Alekskiva she lost by decision. This one, I am going with the simple fact that Alex Skiva is what I consider to be the even though she is the older fighter in this, I also think that she's the more experienced fighter. I think experience is going to come into play in this in a big way. She does have a very, very significant reach advantage from a 66-inch reach to a 59-inch reach for Segula. And I will, in most cases, if I'm picking the which woman I'm gonna fight or which woman I think is gonna win, I'm not gonna pick the one that looks like she could possibly have an Instagram account that's doing well, or possibly an OnlyFans that's doing well. I don't see the same thing going on the other side with Arena Alekskiva. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she does have a poppin' OnlyFans or whatever's going on there. I think if we're looking at that game a little bit more, Segula is definitely the more attractive fighter. So I'm gonna go with the woman that I think has more reason to fight. So Arena Alekskiva is gonna be my pick in this fight, and I think she's gonna get it done. I think she's gonna get it done by finish in this one. Honestly, I think it's gonna be a KO finish. Next up in the heavyweight division, we got what I consider is probably going to be a pretty sloppy matchup here. Muhammad Usman taking on Hamdi Abdel Wahab. Uh, this is Kamaru Usman's brother who is getting ready to fight just a little bit later. Muhammad, he is the heavyweight of the family. He's coming in off two straight losses. He's 10-4. He doesn't have a ton of experience, but he is building experience as he fights more in the UFC. He's off two straight losses, one to Mick Parkin. That doesn't necessarily look that bad. Mick Parkin's been able to keep a pretty decent win-loss record going here, so no fault there. And Thomas Peterson, again, these are higher level fighters. He is trying to take a step up, but unfortunately, he's just not as high level as some of these fighters. He is coming in on a matchup now against Hamdi, who he has a lot of boxing experience. He's not that bad of a wrestler. His method is more to look for the big punches and then shoot. Look for the big punches and shoot. Get you up against the cage. He once he does get control, he can be overwhelming. He is coming off that decision loss or decision win against Jamal Pogues, split decision. I'm not 100% sure that I would consider that he won that fight. Again, that's why they're split. But before that, he hasn't fought very high level competition. This is one of these fights that he's going to be the younger fighter and he's going to have something to prove. I am not going to bet this fight. I think it's going to be too sloppy. Both these guys are coming in about the same size. I am going to take Muhammad Usman for the simple fact that he's got a little bit more experience. And if the gas tank can hold out, I think he's got more ways to win from what I saw. I wasn't very impressed with Hamdi, but we'll see what he comes out with in this next matchup. But I think that Muhammad Usman has a good matchup in this one. I think that he can get this one done. So I'm going to pick Muhammad Usman to get this done. Like I said, this is going to be a sloppy one. And these sloppy fights between fighters like this, sometimes they go to decision. So I think Muhammad's going to get this done by decision. If you have not already, do not forget to hit the like and subscribe. Am starting to put out these shorts a little bit more and give you my picks individually, why I'm going to pick these individual fighters, and I'm going to do it with my bets coming up soon. So make sure you are hitting the like and subscribe so you can get in on these bets. I put it out for a couple of them previously. I'll try and attach those to this video if possible and let you know what they were so you can at least have some kind of track record because maybe you don't believe that I'm killing it on these fight cards. So stick with me, hit the like and subscribe and let's keep winning. But let's keep moving right along into this card. Next up, we've got a 185 matchup between Ismail Nardiev taking on Jung Young Park. I'm taking Jung Young Park in this one. He is what I believe he has is more skills everywhere. His relentless takedowns are what's gonna, I believe, take the advantage in this one. Nardiev is a good fighter. He is coming off 2 wins. He beat Tahir Habdi, and he also had a win against Bruno Silva in his last one. He got the unanimous decision there. I also Jung Young Park is coming off that win against Brad Tavares. That doesn't look so bad because Tavares, I believe he ended up getting a win in his last matchup that he had and kind of bounced back. But ultimately, I'm going with Park for the simple fact that I think he's got the wrestling ability to take this down if it needs to be on the ground, and he's deceptively good in my opinion. He kind of comes up there with the smile on his face every time, and he really fights. He's the type of fighter that he's going to fight for all your money. So I don't feel. Even if it was a fight that I was going to pick, and I again don't have any bets in yet, but if this was a fight that I had to go with and I had to pick, I would feel comfortable putting a bet on Park, but we'll see where the odds pop out. If he gets too lengthy, I'm gonna hesitate on it. But he's not one of my favorite picks on this card, but he's up there, and I think that he definitely gets this one done against Nardiev. All right, here we go. We are moving right on up the main card. We have a another matchup that I'm very excited to see. This is going to be in the lightweight division. This is going to be between Miktabek Orolbai taking on the newcomer to the UFC, Tofik Masayev. He is coming over from Reason. He's a former Reason champion over there, and he definitely has the skills. He's a knockout artist. He brings a lot of power to the game, but he's facing somebody here who Miktabek Orolbai, if we don't know don't know, he is the guy that absolutely went to war with Mateusz Rebecki the last matchup that he had, and he absolutely his eye was completely shut at the end of round one. I don't know how this fight actually continued, but he did. He went on to end up winning or losing a split decision in that fight. It was a very close fight, and it could have gone either way. But the judges they did have it right. I think Rebecki ended up taking over in that third round. So, but it was a great fight, and it proved that he has a lot of toughness. He is coming in with a 13-2-1 record. He is facing Mosayev, who's got a 22-5 record. He's coming off 2 wins. They were in Reason, and again, they've got some high level fighters. That's a pretty big organization over there. So I'm not taking anything away, but I'm looking at the intangibles here. Orobai is 27 years old, and he seems to be getting better and better and better. He does not look 27 years old, but he is 27 years old. And Musayev, on the other hand, is 35 years old. So unless there's some discrepancy that the UFC knows about, so they're actually Orobai, maybe he's 35 years old. Who knows? But I've got to side with Orobai in this matchup. I think that he is. I think he's the better fighter. And when you're fighting somebody who, yes, there is knockout power on the side of Messiah, but I have just seen Orobai take a punch and he keeps on going. He will keep on coming. And I think eventually his method for winning this matchup is going to be to get it to the ground, wear him down, wear his opponent down to where the punches don't have as much power. And I think he's going to be able to do this for 3 straight rounds. I don't think the gas tank is going to be an issue on Oralbai's side. So I'm going with Oralbai to get this done. I would not be surprised in the least if he finishes this by submission. Next up, we're going to the featherweight division. We've got a matchup between Muhammad Naimov and Bogdan Grad. This was probably one of the toughest matchups to call for me on the whole entire card. Naimov is coming in 12-3, Grad's coming in at 15-2. So both of them have about the same levels of experience. Obviously, Naimov has more experience inside the UFC, fighting higher level opponents than what you've seen Grad fight. This is one of those weird type situations because I like what I see from Grad. He's got submission victories, he's got knockout victories, he's got decision victories, so you know that he can go the distance if needed. He puts on a high pace and he's a little bit wild at times. That's the one thing that I will say kind of worries me just a little bit about this one. This is one of those weird fights where I think that Naimov is the better fighter out of these two, honestly. I think that he's got more experience on that in the UFC octagon against higher level opponents. I think that he is also good wherever it goes, and he's more composed in the octagon. He doesn't usually extend himself and get in wild situations. Bogdan Grad, on the other hand, is probably going to get into a more likely to get into a firefight where he, in most cases, does come out on top in that firefight. So you can't really blame him for doing stuff like that. This is a weird pick for me because everything is telling me to go with Nemov, but I am going with Bogdan Grad in this fight. I think that the aggression is going to be up. I think that he wants to continue winning, and I think sometimes you have to just kind of look outside the box on this. Yes, they're both skilled fighters. Yes, they both have multiple ways to win this matchup, and they're very, very evenly matched. But I'm going with the guy that I think is a little bit hungrier in this situation, and I'm going Bogdan Grad. I think it's a weird situation overall for me to make this pick, but I'm going Grad in this one to get this done. We are rolling right through this main card. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe. Make sure you're staying with me when I put in these bets. I will try and get these out as soon as I put them in. Now that I'm getting this breakdown out a little bit earlier this week, hitting it in the early morning tomorrow morning, so we'll have this out. Then I can kind of build on top of that and give you my bets a little bit quicker. But next up, 155 matchup again. We're going to be back with Nazim Sadykhov taking on Nikolas Motta. Sadykhov is coming in 10-1-1, Motta 15-5. He is coming off 2 straight wins, one against Tom Nolan where he had the KO and another where he had the decision against Mahashete. He and then Sadykhov on the other hand, he's coming in he's so far undefeated in his UFC run. Had the contender series where he had the Aman Hassanzada. He beat him by KO. Then he beat Evan Elder by KO. Then he had the submission from Terrence McKinney. He did have the draw with Vyacheslav Borshov. So um, nothing to take away from it there. He did get the draw. So it, you know, either way. And Ishmael Bonfim, he had the win against him last time out. So that was a few months ago, not too long for his turnaround there. So him staying active and he didn't take much damage in that fight. So that's not a bad turnaround amount for him. I think that he is going to end up taking this fight. I think Mota's good, but it's kind of one of those things that he's not overly impressive at anything he does. I think Sajikov, on the other hand, he has skills everywhere it goes. He's fast. He's got knockout ability. He's got submission skills. I think that he's going to end up taking over this matchup, and I think that he is going to win. I'm going to say that he gets this done inside the distance. This would be one of those picks that when I do find a bet on it, it's probably going to be Sajikov win inside the distance in this one. I think he's definitely got the skills to get it done, and that's what I'm going with. I'm going with Sajikov inside the distance. I think he finishes Moda. Next up, we have a heavyweight matchup against Curtis Blades taking on the newcomer Rizvan Kuniev. He's the one that is coming off of the contender series. That was over 9 months ago was his matchup, and he is facing Blades, who we all know what Blades does. He's wrestle first. He's definitely got the skills to get fights to the ground. This is going to be a tricky matchup, honestly, because with Blades, I feel like you never really know what you're going to get, even though he has proven that he can beat high level competition when he's on his game. He is coming in, like I said, off that loss. That loss was, though, to Tom Aspinall, who is the interim champion right now. Other than that, he does have an 18-5 record. Kuniev, on the other hand, he's 13-2-1, so he's definitely faced some adversity in his career, but he has not lost in about 5 years now. So we're gonna see how the adversity does affect him. Like I said, he has not fought in about 9 months in the UFC, so we're gonna see how that affects him. Eh, Curtis Blades, on the other hand, is in the same exact boat. He hasn't fought in 10 months. I'm going with Curtis Blades in this one. At first, when I first saw this one, I think this is a perfect spot. If you're on the Kuniev side, I can completely understand it. And I'm not highly confident that Blades gets this done. I think actually I picked Kuniev in the last time that these two were supposed to face. So I'm a little bit leery on this matchup, but I went back, kind of rethought this one a little bit more. And I think the experience level is going to be too much. The one thing that will worry me is if Blades comes out there and turns into a striking contest. I'm not sure that he's going to win this one because Kuniev is kind of the fighter that he'll rush forward, he'll hit you with some big shots, and then he'll look for takedowns. And I don't know, he may hit him with one of those big shots, knock him out, but I think Blades can get this done if he uses his brain. We'll hope for the best, but I'm picking Curtis Blades to win this by decision. It is co-main event time. We have got a banger coming up here. This one's going to be good. This is also in the 155 division. We've got Rafael Fiziev taking on Ignacio Bahamondes. There are some major intangible differences in these fighters here. You do have Fiziev, who is a very skilled striker. He does have very good takedown defense as well. He's coming in 12-4. He is coming off three straight losses, but you have to look at who those losses are coming to. Justin Gaethje, he ended up losing to him twice in two matchups, and Mateusz Gamrot before that when he did have that injury to his leg, and then that ended up putting him out for a little while, and then coming back, he just fought Justin Gaethje, and this fight's pretty close. They've got the odds very close on this one. Here's the problems that I have with this one. Fiziev is coming in. He's 32 years old. He's 5'8", 71.5-inch reach. Bahamondes, on the other hand, is huge for this division. He's coming in at 6'3". He's 27 years old, and he has a 75.5-inch reach. I'm not so much worried about the reach advantage here, but I am worried about the size advantage. That height gap is big, and seeing how Fiziev is he's mainly a striker. He's not going to go for takedowns. That's not his game. And I don't see him being able to get around the reach, and I don't see him being able to get around the height in order to get this one in his advantage. I think he's going to be swinging at air a lot of this because Bahamondes, he has grown up around the fight game. He's very skilled. He's young coming into it, and he continues to get better. He's got very skilled training partners. And I think that he's going to get this one done. The odds are extremely close, and I'm just not seeing it. So I'm taking Ignacio Bahamondes. I think the size is going to be a huge advantage, and I think that he's going to be better if this goes to the ground. I think he's got the submission skills to get it done. And if this stays standing, I think he's definitely going to be hard to get to for Fiziev. So I'm confident that Bahamondes, even though I love Fiziev, I'm a big fan of his. I think Bahamondes, I think this is a really good spot for him, and I think he gets it done in this one. I think Fiziev is tough enough to withstand it, so I see this one going long. I think it's going to go to decision, but I think Bahamondes is going to outvolume him, and I think he's going to be able to control it wherever this match goes. Bahamondes is the pick. It is main event time. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe once again. Stick with me. Make sure that you are following my picks because we're doing this weekly. We're giving you the best picks. I'm super excited because we got the Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira card coming up next weekend. Not the next weekend, but the weekend after this card. And this is, like I said, this is a good hold over. It's going to be exciting for International Fight Week. But let's get right into this main event. This is going to be in the light heavyweight division. You know who these guys are. Jamal Hill taking on Khalil Rountree. Khalil Rountree is 13-6 on this one. He's coming off that loss in that championship match to Alex Pereira, where he was taken out in the fourth round, I believe, in that one. And then we also have Hill, who's coming off two straight losses, former champion. He coming off a loss to himself to Alex Pereira and then to Yuri Prohashka in the last one where he did get knocked out late in the fight. So both of these guys are coming off of knockouts. There are a little bit of size differences here. The age, not a factor. It's 34 to 35. Hill is the 1 year younger than Roundtree. Both guys are right around the same reach and height advantage is going to belong to Hill slightly. He's 6'4" compared to Roundtree 6'1". 79-inch reach for Hill and a 76.5-inch reach for Roundtree. This is going to come down to, in my eyes, it's going to come down to volume. And I know that Hill is a very, very tough fighter. I know that he can take a punishment. I know that he can dole it out just as well. I think in this matchup in particular, though, you've got a guy like Roundtree who is very skilled in the like whole Muay Thai aspect of the game. He throws a lot of volume out there, and I think that he's going to end up going to the body a lot in this one. Those kicks are brutal, and I think if he hits Hill with enough of those kicks to the body, I think it's going to start being a very, very huge detriment to his game moving forward. So my pick in this one, and it may be an unpopular one, maybe a lot of people are agreeing with this one. I see Hill getting this done, even though he's a little bit undersized as far as facing up against Hill goes. Or, I'm sorry, I'm seeing Roundtree get this one done. Roundtree is going to be the pick here. I think Roundtree's the better striker. I think he's going to have speed advantages, and I think overall strength is going to play a factor in this one. So I am taking in the main event Khalil Roundtree. I think he's going to get it done against Jamal Hill, and he is going to solidify his spot in that division and continue moving up the ranks, possibly getting that another championship opportunity, maybe against Ankalaev if he keeps it, but we'll see how that plays out. But that is the UFC Fight Night. Hill versus Roundtree full card breakdown. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you find this useful, and I will be back to detail my bets coming up. Like I said, I'm getting this video out earlier, so I'll get this editing done. We'll put it in. The fights are still going on. Buckley is getting ready to come up, and he's getting ready to fight Usman. Hopefully, we have a good bet turnout there, and I will see you next time. Hope you enjoyed. This is Be All In Sports. Peace out, people. Keep balling.